Hello, my name is Dominic Underhallhouse and welcome to another episode of Moonbreaker. In today's video we're going to be setting ourselves not quite a full challenge but a little challenge, and what we're going to do today is we're going to try and use Stowaway. So, Stowaway is the least used assist. As far as I can tell, it often takes a unit in your list and basically changes it from something that you've practiced and that you want in your list that you've put in there for a reason and changes it into something completely different. So what we're going to do is we're going to change our game plan up, and that what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and take a 1-drop all the way up to a 6-drop and play that and have it be relevant in the game. So we're going to have to last a really long time in these games to do so. So I've made a list. We're going to go with a Stowaway challenge, and what I've tried to do first of all is for the early game I've just put some really strong units in. So it starts out with things like Maximus, we've got Deadeye, we've got Beatris Enforcer, so these are just a really solid early game units. Following on from that, we've got both Aria and Blindsider Eztli. The reason I put these in here is, again, we need to just be surviving through those periods of the game, but also we want the Stowaway unit to be the same unit that goes all the way through the game. So Antios is going to be the first one we use, because we're going to play Maximus turn 1, and then Antios is going to be the first one that we can upgrade. As we move through these units here, we should have both of these placed out by the time we get to upgrade it again. Again, we might be able to get both of these placed out by the time we upgrade the 3-drop, and we hopefully will need to be able to play out the Nectarvine. So I just want to make it so that we have those options all the way through. Nectarvine and Defense Dome here are just for a little bit of longevity, so we can keep the game going that long. And Extilior, again, just for that bit of protection. I do think this list could probably benefit from Florio, but I want to try something a little bit different, especially including Aria, because I just think she doesn't get a fair deal of things sometimes. So we're going to try, and basically I'm going to go and find games. I'm going to restart them until I get one with Stowaway, and we're going to try and just play until we can get a 1-drop all the way up to a 6-drop. Hopefully we'll be able to do this fairly quickly within a couple of games, and if not, we might have to just do this over a few videos and try and make that a sort of challenge happen. So I'm looking forward to this. Stowaway is something that I really like the idea of, but it hasn't worked in practice, and I want to see if I can either find some use for it or at least have fun with it, so in my mind, to make sure it has a place in the game. So if you like this sort of content, especially the interesting quirky ideas like this, please do hit that subscribe button. Let me know in the comments if that's something you want to see more of, you'll see less of. If you've got more ideas of little challenges I can set myself, I would love to hear from you, and I'll see you once we're back in the game. Okay, we have found ourselves a game with Stowaway. It comes with corrosive particles. This is not what we wanted to see, but it'll have to be what we deal with. So we're going to pick it up and see what we can do from here. So against Broken Sprock, they are a level 7 player. In fact, in the queue looking for this, I've actually just found Broken Sprock a moment ago and played against them. Yeah, with in a different list of theirs. So they had a different list. They had an Extilior list, but I've just played against them moments ago, and now we're going to play against them again. So this time we are going to try our best to go all out on the Stowaway plan. So Antios is going to become a 6-drop, in theory. So what I want to do here is make sure that we go for as many sort of board presence plays as possible. So yeah, they've got no ability to hit us here. If they place a mine, okay, that's good for us, because that's essentially what I think of as sort of almost negative tempo. So we know it's going to be Antios, so we'll do this. And Antios has become Scattervine, so we can't use our Scattervine. We need to remember that. So we can get a good angle here. We will just take these hits. I'm actually just going to move Extilior back into this and just move further away with Maximus. Try and keep it safe. And for now, we're going to pop Deadeye down over here, make it hard again for them to hit us. And in 2 turns, we can look at going up again, leveling up number 2. So this is 5 levels up in total, so 10 turns. So Ursix Nectarvine. Luckily, we don't have to deploy Beatris for Ursix to actually go up, which is good. But then the following turn we will have needed to. Oh, hitting us through the smoke is good. And they've got Clink, that's fine. Second win. So what's their play here? They've got 4 Cinder, and if they play something like a Shrapnel, I don't know how we deal with this. Because our best way normally is to go ahead and just try and beat them down, but I don't want to do that. I want to stall the game out. See, playing this far up is actually probably a slight mistake as well. Okay, Snaring. I'm okay with Snaring. You know what I'm going to do here? Is I'm actually going to put this down here. I'm not going to hit all 3 of them anyway, but what I want to do is use Deadeye to try and get a shot up here. did get... Oh wow, I didn't even realise that was in range of them. Oh, that's even better. So I mean, we could go and try and hit Snareling, get a bit of free extra damage, but honestly, I think what I want to do is just try and keep Maximus safe. So if I move him here, get the minimum reduction of movement, sneak back around the corner. Extilior's going to stay around here actually, and we're just going to deploy, so lowest attack, lowest health, so none of these make a difference. So I think we go for a Blindsider Eztli over here, and just try and make it difficult for them again. And now we need to avoid damaging the captain, because we need to turn our Scattervine into a 3-drop first. So what we want to do, maybe this was a mistake actually, because I need to get that in range of Snareling. So Snareling hits Deadeye here, that's okay. Because Snareling is the one that... Oh, a crit. Okay, the crit actually matters, because that changes their clock down to being able to kill us quite consistently next turn. Okay, placing a mine there means that we're just going to have to kill the mine, that's fine. But what we need to do really is get some damage onto Snareling. Zac should probably be running away here, because he's getting very low. Oh no, if they block Snareling... Okay, that miss is good for us. The Plink is going to be bad. Like, Deadeye is dead next turn. So let's punish Snareling a little bit.
What is your will?
I think here we actually just try and take out the mine, maybe? Yeah, so maybe that's our route. We just sort of come around here, take this out, same here, and just not try and go for any risks. So Maximus can get a bad line of sight up there, or a semi-decent one this way. I think we're just going to go up here. Is there any hope? 14%. We'll just take what we can get. Did actually hit, so we're going to just move further under the thick part of this, wherever there's the highest percentage. 54. That looks good with it. Hard to get an angle on here for us. So we need to make sure we don't have another 3-drop by next time. So Aria needs to come out now, and she can just go down here. Because we're going to need to be Scattervining our 3-drop. So Scattervine has become Axial Pyro. Excellent. So Axial Pyro will actually be one that will go up to a 4-drop here. So we need to try and stall this game out a little bit. We've got enough units here to keep us safe. So we just need to find ways of... Like, Ursix Nectarvine might be our best friend here. They're going to kill Deadeye. So we're not too far behind. But what we're hoping for is basically for them to put Snareling in a position where we can follow it up with Eztli and take that out. But we're going to try really hard to get this... Is it another mine? Okay, OP loves mines. This is okay with me. We need to get Pyro up to a 4-drop. Switchback is terrifying, just to clarify now. Like, I don't know how we deal with Switchback. If they don't... Okay, so they're just going to go over here and turtle up. And honestly, that kind of scares me. Okay, we should be able to kill Snareling. That's a pretty awkward hit. We didn't want that to hit. Okay, so we need to spend all of our Cinder. We could just play Defense Dome. And honestly, I don't hate that. What if we played it like here? Does that... Here seems to work. Okay, so... Oh, but Extilior can't move. So the mine I'm not too worried about right now, but I am worried about Switchback. So let's come over here. Let's go Stillness. Yeah, so we get 100% onto Switchback here. So this forces them to use their Cinder somewhere. Now we can just go for like a Nectarvine. Actually, but Nectarvine doesn't do anything now. Let's bring Maximus up here to poke the captain. Try and keep the pressure up. If we put him back here, maybe they'll go for that instead. We just need to spend that Cinder, so I think we have to play Nectarvine or Beatris and do something else. Yeah, I think we just have to play Nectarvine here and just try and heal up Extilior. And then just send this all the way out here, get this kill. And that's everything we can do. So next turn, we're leveling up Axial Pyro. We're going to get to a 6-drop, but the question is then, can we come back from this and try and win the game? So our opponent can obviously kill this here. If I were them, I'd probably just use Switchback to do so. Get the Gloomslide switchback, I think that is. Because this is unnecessary, but it does mean they... I mean, they use 2 Cinder either way. Okay, then... Yeah, so this is, unfortunately, all kinds of inefficient from them. They could have used that and then used Stitchy. They could have used this without using that. They could have just used this instead of using Grav Disc. So there's a lot of inefficiency in their options here, but all we want is to be able to push forwards and take them out with... sorry, basically take them out as soon as we can. This is a good position for us. We could probably take this out next turn. Yeah, so this is a lot of wasted damage from our opponent, unfortunately. Hopefully they'll be able to sort of realise that, you know, there's more efficient ways of doing it. Okay, so with that coming out, that's not too bad. It would normally be okay, but we've got this, which makes the big difference here. So we can now move again. So we're going to hit. But the thing is here, we need to play Beatris. Get that spin. Got 100% accuracy here, which is excellent. Take that. And let's see if we can get the extra damage onto Stitchy. Okay, we missed one, that's fine. So now we have to deploy Beatris in order to use this. And that changes our Pyro into a Tipu. Okay. So Tipu exists, we cannot do anything about Tipu now. So 2 more turns and get it to a 5-drop, we're nearly there. This is a really strange thing to be trying to do.
Let's shorten the list.
I don't know how many games I'm going to be able to record of this, but it's very entertaining to try. I'll probably record at least one more just for entertainment value and seeing if we can do the same thing.
The flamethrower would like your attention.
Flamethrower, yeah. Thank you, Axel. What I'm also thinking is maybe if I was to do this in another video, of changing the curve so I only had 1 of each cinder cost, so we could always make sure we were ahead of what we needed. So now we're at a point where Stitchy needs to die. Stitchy is the most terrifying thing left. We're going to play our defense dome out next turn. We've actually both got the same amount of crew. If they don't move, we can probably kill Stitchy, and that's the main thing we want to do here. Okay, they moved, good. That's the correct choice. Honestly, I think Aria might even have still a pretty good shot. So let's try and take what we can get first. So we'll go for this. Okay, that works out well. So now we just need to make sure Aria can get it. Come on, Aria. 60%. Oh, I just realised Extilior was in the way for some of that. If he wasn't in the way, that would have been fine. So here we can get some good damage off. We're just going to hit here. Sword of Justice. Yeah, I could have killed multiple different things here, but without a crit now, we can't get there. But we want to move as far forward as possible to try and go for this. No crit, but that's fine. Here we're just going to shield and poke ourselves, and probably just play a defense dome covering as much as possible. So if we cover these 2, we'll also cover anything that moves forward. Aria's still okay there. Just save the cinder. We've got 1 more, and then we're nearly there. Yeah, so our opponent's just trying to pull things back. Yeah, this looks like they're trying to go for a big shrapnel. Or are they trying to kill Beatris maybe? Oh, it's Axel Pyro. Okay, so they're probably not realising this is actually going to do 0 damage here. And yeah, do we actually get burned? No, if you don't take damage you don't get burned. I didn't think so. I know I've done that before and made that mistake, but so they're going to plink here and that's fine. Funnily enough, if we can move that back into this range, we just start healing again. Stitchy needs to be careful because, yeah, without hitting us, without healing themselves, hitting us kills them back. So we can just make a small move and deal with that. Yep. Reduced by 1. Okay, and then Shrapnel hasn't done anything yet. Trying not to kill their own Axel Pyro is probably a good call. Yeah, so 50%, and they missed both. Excellent. So this is really good for us. Just to basically be as clear as we can be, we're going to try and just clear up some of the crew. And just get some more blocking going on. Now, here I feel a little bit cautious. There's nothing we can do with Maximus really.
Do we need to fight?
We're going to slowly just move forwards and not forget to upgrade our Tipu. So Tipu is now Furia, so we only need 2 more turns to go. I think we're actually going to be able to do this. In stillness again. Let's go for the 100 up here. Defense Dome can just pull in over here. And we'll just Shield of Hope ourselves with Extilior.
Defense subroutine D1.
Yep, nothing else to do here. Okay. 2 more turns, and we've managed to go from 1 all the way up to 6. I do feel bad because our opponent is only a level 7 player, so this isn't, you know, the ideal situation. I prefer trying to do these things as a bit of a challenge, but this is the first game I've been able to find. I had a bit of trouble earlier finding a game for it, and then the games I've found so far haven't had Stowaway, so this has been, there's a bit more behind this than I think you might realise. Oh, they got the crit for 4 damage there, because that actually dealt 2 damage, and he had Shield of Hope and armour there, so that's actually a pretty big deal. So we should still be fine. They've got more crew to deploy, and we really don't. Like, we need to start actually turning on their captain. So because they put all this damage here, I actually think now we need to consider moving back to our defensive position. Ooh, crosshair. Okay. So if we've got a way of getting onto crosshair, that would be very useful here. I think we can get in here and get a spin that's going to be very relevant. Yeah, so we can get 2 of them in a spin, which I think is just worth doing in itself. So we're going to Sword of Justice here. Get a bit of extra damage dealt. 1 more here. Got a crit as well, that is nice. So Maximus is going to... Okay, she doesn't do anything right now, so let's just bring Aria up here, get the lowest modifier we can. 39 seems to do. Stillness and kill Deadeye. Maximus can come out and just poke their captain a little. And Beatris can move in as well. And we're actually going to move our defense dome over a couple of turns back that way. Wait, who's it got? Who can we still move? Oh, Maximus actually dealt damage. Okay, cool. I didn't even realise. Okay, so we're going to get our 6 drop from our 1 drop. I've been wanting to do this for a while. It does feel a little bit like I'm taking advantage of the situation. I could have been applying more pressure to the captain, but this is something I really do want to be able to get off. This is probably something I need to wait until we've got a bit more of a unit base, a bit more like maybe a more competitive setting in the game, because this is quite a difficult thing to pull off, and I don't want it to seem like I've only managed to do so because I've come across a low-level opponent. I'd love to be able to try and do that in a more like challenging setting. Okay, another shot from our opponent, that's fine. But we are going to get our 6 drop here. Yep, they're trying to stop us doing anything here. So I think now we just go and try and get this kill. They've got 1 crew left, which is fine, but we want to... Oh, it's Broken Vengeance. Interesting. Hang on, can we... We can't set up the Beatris combo, unfortunately. We need to be the other side of him for that to work. If they move down here, sure. We'll just keep pushing.
Flesh is insufficient.
Oh my goodness, they might get us.
What is your will?
What's the answer here? How do we deal with this? Do we have to just send this over and accept it's going to die? Because we can Sword of Justice here.
Termination is inevitable.
We can get a couple of damage here. We missed one. Okay, 22% is no good for us right now. So we get -47 through Extilior. So that's 100 now. There we go. Perfect. Get Beatris in here for the hit. Stowaway. And we get Novium Borg. So if I work this out right, they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 damage that we know of. They haven't even used one of their assists. I can't even think of what that might be. But we are going to try and get the kill with our Bulwark that used to be Antios Gauntlet, and it is now a unit who is still slightly worse than Antios Gauntlet most of the time. Yep, so they can go here for 2 more. They needed to crit on both of these and have them be reasonable crits. So this can not quite do it. They're going to be just short. No, not... Oh no, wait, we can move here. It's fine. We want the Bulwark to get the final hit. That's the important part, is Bulwark getting the final shot. Sure. Do whatever you need to here, Mr. Zax. We want to get the final shot with our 6-drop that used to be a 1-drop. So all of these are just going to move out of the way. Like
my battle bus?
We're just going to move up here, take a couple of shots, see if we can hit anything. We can, move out the way.
This mask really
Move down here. Move down here. Get our 1-drop in there. And finally get the kill. Lock it down. There we go. That was very much a drawn out game, but we did manage to get there at the end. I'm going to try for one more and see if we can get another one, but that was so time consuming to get to that point. I don't think... Yeah, I'm not sure this was the best idea, but I'm glad I've tried something a little bit different. So I'm going to jump into another one, hopefully find another match with Stowaway. I don't have to keep cutting away and coming back to it another time, but I will see you once we're back in the game. Okay, we have found ourselves a second game. This is going to be the last one I'm going to do with this video. I've actually had to play quite a few games in the meantime, trying to find one where the conditions are met. In fact, the last one was also against the Really Real. So it's going to be 2 games versus new players. Unfortunately, it's not really what I wanted to try and do, but I've come against quite a few games where I haven't actually got Stowaway. And for me personally, I really don't want to just be like playing games and then letting new players have someone concede against them immediately. That doesn't really feel right to me. So I wanted to at least give them a game, even if in those games, apologies to my opponents, I did just go, not like full try hard, but I did put a lot more effort in than I usually would do. So it was very much a case of necessity rather than what I prefer to be doing, but I did put in a little bit more effort than I usually would in that situation. So I have just played the Really Real a moment ago. It was a good crit for me. Yeah, it was a good game for me. Happy it went that way, but now we're in for another one. So we can finally just first of all stow away our Antios Gauntlet. And we've got Tari Arsenal. So I'm almost tempted to consider, like, should we just allow other options on this, as in say, you know, if something is useful that comes up, should we be allowed to actually just play that out and then take, as long as we have something else of the same cost. But I think for now I'm just going to worry about advancing up on the board as much as possible and trying to make sure we play this game properly. So Nano Shield should be nice here. It will give us a little bit more longevity, it will give us a little bit more safety. Ooh, that crit is actually a big deal. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're actually going to place ourselves in the middle of all these mines. So in theory this shouldn't actually hurt us. Perfect. So we should get some damage on here. Unfortunately they didn't leave themselves in range of the mine. That would have been quite funny. But here we actually need to be a little... Yep, unfortunately this is... Yeah, so another new opponent is you do get used to the idea that Plink doesn't hit armoured units. We've got a boomerang, so that's always nice. But we do need to apply a bit of pressure here to keep things moving. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to hit Max here.
Every day's full body
Wow.
day.
Okay, I'm not going to hit Max there. I'm going to try and hit Max there. And at least try and get him with this. Yeah, there we go. So had we actually hit that, we'd have been in a good spot. But now... I mean, we could go for a long shot, but genuinely I think I'm better off just chipping a couple of damage onto the captain. Or at least one damage. Behind here is a little safer, so we'll go for that. And then because I'm not worried about both of these at once, I'm actually going to place an Aria down here. It's unlikely they'll be able to get in range for everything that we want to deal with. And move over. So, lost the bomb. It's fine, it happens. Take another damage there, another damage here. They could try and get a crit here, or they could just pull us into this and actually kill us for 2 Cinder. Don't shoot first. Oh, OP. So close. So now we can actually make Beatris indestructible. Plink. Oh, I feel sorry for our opponent, because it's one of those things when you first start going, you feel like Plink should go through armour. You eventually get used to the fact that it doesn't, but you feel like it should. And the fact they place another mine means they can't even pull that mine towards us, and you take that damage off the table. Okay, so they're nano shielding their captain, that's fine. We could nano shield Beatris if we really wanted and just blow up both of those mines, which I don't even think is that bad of an idea.
Eyes open, tails
We're gonna just...
behaving.
Okay, I think we're gonna go here for Deadeye
We
to
can
just
work with that.
chip onto that with a good chance. Perfect.
I was.
So I'm gonna move Aria just to here, again trying to be a little bit safer.
Okay,
We have got our Stowaway
sure.
back, so Taria now becomes Snaring. Okay, so we need to get Snaring out the way. And honestly, the way this game has gone, I actually think I'm going to nano shield Beatris. Just pop her in the middle of all these,
Design this outfit.
so that these all explode.
Matador minute.
And then just use this area as like a little healing base. We've got 2 additional Cinder, but we don't have much to use it on. Extilior can just be fairly safe here, I think. And like, this isn't me, you know, trying to throw or anything. This is actually how I feel like I should be playing this at this point in time. Just get a couple of damage over there. I mean, yeah, sure, we can just melee that. I love these animations. Yeah, we're just going to carry all this over and just keep turning over. So like, this is the way that I think is the right to play. Is just in this situation, because we've got good board control, we can just keep taking out our opponent's units, not worry about the mines, and just chip away at the captain bit by bit. Because essentially we've now got to the point where we have got more control. So they can throw this here, but we actually heal all but any damage onto this anyway. Yeah, so this doesn't even really do anything. We can even get a lot of damage onto Teutonia next turn, maybe even using this to try and finish things off with Maximus. I actually don't even hate that plan. Sure. So if we can get Beatris, I can't remember how big the base is, so if we can maybe get to a point where we're still in this and hit that, I might actually just go for that. Ignore the mine for now. Yeah, go for the 0% hit, that's fine. So can we do that? I can't tell if this is in or not, so we'll go for it. It doesn't look like it is,
Almost velvety.
but let's just start making a bit of progress here. So, oh, we actually don't have good angles at all. Okay, I lied. That was a terrible, terrible decision. I thought we'd be able to have angles up here, but I forgot about that corner. So that's entirely my fault. 50%
Focus
there.
next time.
Nope. You know what? Let's move Extilior back here.
Oh no,
Let's get
I
Aria back
forgot
up here.
my sniper pants on the ship.
And let's go for the stillness.
Hope they don't see
We've got 100 onto both, so we'll just take that one. And then
At
here,
your service.
I do want to try and kill Teutonia, but we're going to be a little bit late on that party, so we're just going to do this and then move as far down as possible to keep out of line of sight. We're not allowed to ditch Snaring, so I think we just deploy Eztli over here.
What is your will?
Actually, I think I'm going to Shield of Hope the plant here, because they're obviously trying to kill the plant, and we don't want that to happen. So we'll just keep healing the plant and see what we can do from here. So it looks likely that we're going to get up to a 6-drop, but there's no guarantee. This opponent really likes playing down mines, and we've got plenty to clear them out with for now, especially if we move Beatris back here to heal again. So I think the fact that we can just keep dealing with things from range is quite important. Okay, Furia, now that's something we do actually need to deal with. That's not something we can just ignore constantly.
Yet to see power.
She is going to keep damaging herself, so first we're going to use this and bring out Snaring up to the next level, which is Chuck and Go.
Bravery requires teensy
So we're going
break.
to hit Teutonia, and then I think we're actually just going to move towards this. So they're going to probably end up killing our... What am I trying to say? They're going to end up killing our Beatris most likely, but
This
we
mask
can't
really
really
draws
do much
the eye.
about things from here. So we can go here and start getting damage on the captain, but I think honestly just killing Teutonia first,
Like my battle mask?
trying to chip a couple of shots out. One of these hopefully will hit. Perfect. That's exactly what we wanted.
Want some
So
talent
now I think we're going to Ozos here and shoot for this, and then we're going to try and just use abilities. I know it sounds silly, but we want to try and see,
Based on movement.
is there a way we can use our Cinder? Not quite. We're going to be slightly short.
stretching my hammies.
So as it stands now, I actually just want to just start moving everything up towards Furia, and I'm going to start Shielding of Hope myself,
Protection protocol
because there's
active.
nothing else here that really does what we need to worry about, does anything we need to worry about. but we need to kill Furia ASAP. So this is what we want her to do, is come and kill Beatris. If this misses, 75%. Oh, it was only 5 damage. Of course, they can blink it to death, that's fine. But they haven't noticed that yet. I think they've forgotten about blink. Maybe they think it's bugged after it didn't damage Beatris or something. But they have got blink, they can use that. And now we've got much better angles onto finally taking a bit of damage off of Furia. So we're still ahead on crew. We've got a bit of time to go because we actually haven't lost any crew yet, which is an interesting spot to be in. We've got at least probably 4 damage onto this. Oh, they're blowing up their own mines is awkward. So this is only going to get them 1 damage, and then we can just run away from this. So that's fine. It might even give us access to dealing a bit of extra damage onto Furia. Because that's really what we need to do here, is take Furia out of the equation. Ooh, Peacemaker Balam. Okay, so Balam's fine as long as we play around it fairly well, and we can just keep our distance. Yeah, they did remember that, that's good. That's what we want them to do. We don't want our opponents to just be forgetting interactions. We want them to actually give us a game. Genuinely, this seems like a better game for our opponent than last time was, so this is already an improvement. That crit is good to know. So this means they can deal a couple of damage here, but not enough to potentially kill us unless something else goes their way. So this is probably just a Maximus move and shoot situation. But I think actually we're probably better off actually running forwards. No, because they can just deal with that. So let's just deal with put damage here, because it doesn't do enough.
Catch me if you can.
Okay, we did get one, that's good. Move over here, and then we can play our defense dome. In fact, Extilior needs to find his way into this battle again, so we're going to move back this direction. We should maybe even just be running all out towards them. But let's go with this. Protect people as much. In fact, I'm going to place it here, so that it makes it harder for them to get to multiple things that we want. We might as well Ozos ourselves here. We're going to waste Cinder otherwise.
No more happy hours.
Let's just move down here. And stillness. We didn't use our extra Cinder, but that's fine. So we're going to move up to a 5-drop this turn, which is good. They can stun our units here, that's the thing. So, but we need to make it so that the stun is worth it for us.
I get a little handsy.
Yep, that doesn't work out too well for them. The crit's good. So they can stun 1 thing, possibly 2 if they go for this, but we don't care about this in the slightest. It's not really any different. Yeah, so she's just going to run away. We can just, like, again, put some damage onto that next turn. If they try and plink there again, I'm really sorry. Plinking around all of this apart from Aria doesn't do anything. So Aria we can just bring back here. It depends on if they're going to do anything about Balam. Because this game, our opponent is a lot more efficient than they were last time. So I'm really glad to see that there seems to be an improvement over the last time I played them a minute ago. We're a couple of turns away. They can't get both, so they are going to try and stun one of them. Yep, that's fine. Okay, and the fact they're going to move is interesting, because now we can move into this bomb and we can indestructible ourselves again. Well, we don't even need to move. So if we can actually get a good shot onto here, we'll actually take the shot onto Balam quite constantly, like almost all the time. If we can do, we will do. That's their nano shield type. Interesting. So what's the chance here? 47. Yeah, so this is a stillness. Take a shot onto Balam here. Oh yeah, we're stunned, of course. So pop this down here. Chuck and Co can upgrade, and Chuck and Co becomes Crosshair. So it's our only unit left, so we're not doing too bad here. We know what we're going for. Now the question is, how easily can we chase things down? I'm going to leave a bit of a gap here so Deadeye's shot can get through. Still 100%, so that's good. Might as well, again, Ozos ourselves. And we're going to start running towards them now. So, have we already moved this? Oh yeah, we did. So, Aria can move, but we don't need to. We can just Shield of Hope Maximus, I guess. Keep pushing that defensive stat. No reason to spin. Yeah, let's pass the turn. So 2 more turns, we can get there. I actually think we're not in the best spot. Interesting. I thought that would have blown up on their turn and not taken the shield. I thought the shield would have been... Like, I thought the shield would have been gone by the time that explosion happened. That's an interesting one. I might have to actually look into that. So here, again, they can get 2 stuns, but it doesn't work on our captain. So they can try and stun it, but again, if this is a new player situation, they don't realise it doesn't stun captains. Yeah, that's pretty unfortunate. I don't think they realise that that's how that works. So we're going to be able to kill this now, and then just start making moves on the captain, which is absolutely the game plan from here. We've got a 1% hit. If that had hit, that would be going on my tally.
Surprise! I know. I should have.
Okay, they're going to pull. The fact they're pulling things together is awkward because, okay, now they might actually be able to keep Balam alive at least. We do have to try and get some shots onto this to make it work. I'm probably just going to be using things to take out mines here and just literally just tanking them with things. Move Aria up here. Okay, that movement is actually probably pretty detrimental to them. That gives us a lot more leeway on what we can do. So
Oh no, I forgot my.
we're still going to die
sniper
with
pants on
Aria,
the ship. I
which is
should
absolutely fine. Here, there's funny because there's no reason not to even stillness. We can just do that.
show 'em what you're made of.
Just move slightly back with this. Maximus is still stunned. Oh, hang on. We're not in range. Oops. That was a mistake. Fine. Okay, let's just go here. Sword of Justice this. Shield of Hope on... How many shields has Aria got on? Nothing, but she's got -1 damage. So here she can only actually take 1. So we'll pop another shield on.
Full body day.
Can we get a good
Beats
Deadeye
being
angle
in
on
a
anything?
lab, huh?
I mean, we could take out the mine, we could start working on Crankbait. I think the mine's less valuable than trying to kill Crankbait. So we'll just keep Ozozing. And we're going to keep on crawling towards them. And that is everything that we can do. So again, we've got our final activation of Stowaway. We're going to get a 6-drop. We just have to hope it's a useful one. Our opponent still has 3 units in the bank here, is the thing. So that didn't do anything. Hang on, if that didn't do anything, why did it take off Extilior's thing? Yep, they can still tank buff there. I'm not sure why that took off Extilior's shield here. Okay, that's potentially an issue. This is fine. Okay, now they're just... Okay, this is okay, because... Okay, the grav discs I think are an issue, because I don't think they're really thinking them through, is the problem. So that's stunned, but we can then give it another hopeful stack. I think we should be in a good spot here. We can just move up here and start clearing things out fairly quickly, and we do get our last deployment this turn. Okay, so Jailbreak isn't actually touching Extilior, which is a really big problem for them. So we can move into here. We want to be in contact with their Zax, so that we can Sword of Justice and only hit their units. We are slightly out of range of this actually. We'll hit Zax.
I wonder what would happen.
Might as well hit with this as well. And we can finally upgrade our crosshair. We've made it to the final hurdle. We get Novium Bulwark again, and we can't deploy it.
The wings were a bad
So
choice.
we're going to keep doing what we can. Keep getting lines of sight where we can. Can we get a line of sight onto Jailbreak somewhere that's any decent? I mean, yeah, that's halfway decent. 99%, yeah, good. Still Shield of Hope Maximus.
Raising defenses.
I mean, Aria can try and shuffle this way, see if it gets us out of range of that.
My
It does not.
stomach is in revolt.
May as well stillness here
Underestimate me.
and pass the turn. But again, our opponent has more crew ready to deploy. That's good for us because it's, you know, this is just sitting here being useless. That's a kill for us. Perfect. So we do need a crew to die is the problem. We almost want them to kill Aria. There we go. They got the crit, so now we can deploy our Bulwark. And next turn we're going to try and get the kill, once again, using our Bulwark, which is not how I was expecting it to go. I still don't understand with these mines and then pulls. Like, I know it gets everyone close to the mine, and I think I did this as well when I was new, actually. I think I did genuinely exact same thing. But then once I've done it, I'm then in a position where you start realising that actually The grav disc doesn't do anything to the mine, like at all. So this is going to be it. Move slightly back to keep out of range. Sword of Justice this.
Executing justice.
What we're going to do is we're going to go for the Maximus hit first. We just want to get one hit here. Don't need two. Okay, we've got two. So there is a risk that we crit this and actually win by mistake. It's not what we want to do, but it is possible. Okay, we didn't crit. We can play our pull over here. We can move everything into range. If we do this, does it hit the enemy captain? No, but I don't think I want to take that risk. Let's just clear up some of these. You can just keep ozosing yourself, get all the accuracy in the world. Move up here just in case. And next turn, we should in theory be able to use Novian Bulwark to kill Zax Jakar. This is a long effort, this is a real genuine challenge. But here we go. We did it twice. We managed to do it twice. Like I said, it is a shame we came across lower level opponents, but I'm really glad we managed to get it done. These were hard fought games. They were just, it sometimes felt like it was never going to happen and things were turning in a different direction, so really, really pleased we managed to pull it off. I think I'd like to try this again once there's more units, we've got a little bit more variety, or I like the idea of doing a challenge where you have to take Stowaway if you come across it, and your actual list has a curve from like 1 through to 6, and you have to keep on using the unit that you stowawayed, so then the next turn when you go to play one, it's the next one that you stowawayed. Like, you know, basically you can use the stowaway unit if you have another one to replace it in the curve. Things like that sound like they can be good fun to me. I'm really, really glad we've done this. Again, not sure it really worked in the format that I wanted it to, but again, always happy to have done it. Please do, if you enjoyed this, subscribe to the channel. If you've got any ideas, let me know. If you've got an idea to make things like this work better than I've managed to, I'd love to hear that too. Please hit that like button on the video, and most importantly, have a good day.